All right. Hello, everybody. We are discussing time blocking today, and I am just going to add it to my Facebook and as many places as I can right now while we are waiting for some viewers or not. But I want to make sure that people have it because I know it's kind of last minute. But the idea here is to talk about all things real estate on our channel, of course, and to give you guys as much education and ways to be successful as possible. So today, we're going to do a lot of screen sharing again, just to make sure that you guys know exactly what to do. So in real estate, there's something called time blocking. If you guys don't know what time blocking is, there's a million different ways to do it. But the most successful that we have found is to start your day with a brain dump. So this looks pretty crazy. So bear with me as I'm going to show you my brain dump. So you will go in any way that you can and write down anything in your brain. So this is Asana. This is how I brain dump. I just put it all in here. I send it to myself, my assistant, or my husband, depending on who has got the best skill set around it. Obviously, I try to take on as much of the load as I can, but ultimately, it's whoever can handle it. Now, with that, you want to just get everything out of your brain. And I'm just trying to get on my link so I can make sure that showing what we need to show here. So you guys aren't all looking at something and I have no idea. So give me 2 seconds. Okay. Or just mute myself. So this is Asana. This is where we brained up. You write down every single thing that you need. On top of the fact that you run a business. So you're going to have a lot of follow up to do, new business prospecting to do, social media content building and making. Everything has to be there, everything has its place. The other part that really needs to be there is your perfect day, right? So at Amplified Real Estate, we have our accountability calls where you come and you talk about your tracker and your mentor meetings. But at the bottom of the page, we also have these little tabs that are the time study exercises, our sales calculator, the daily, monthly, daily, weekly, monthly to dos if you need it, whatever that ends up being for you. So if you are just starting and trying to figure out what your time blocking should look like, you should do this time study exercise. And if you want to just comment time study, and I will give you the link to this fun little thing. Isaiah Colton made it with Ren Growth CEO, and it is really awesome to go and write down something that you do every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, just a couple of sentences of what you did. It's going to not just keep you on track, but keep you really highly aware of what you're doing. And a lot of people need that reset. When we're talking what your perfect day should look like after you've done your time study exercise, you have to go into your time blocking and what it looks like. Now, it's going to look different from anything from an ISA who's just out there, maybe with license, maybe not, trying to get deals for you, or a solo agent or new agent, and then to a solo agent or an outside sales agent, and then a team leader, business owner, entrepreneur. If you're watching this, you're likely in that solo agent category, maybe team leader, maybe brand new agent, but in those first three buckets. So when we look at your day, we want to look at what a new agent's day is supposed to look like. We have this broken down by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So and also there's a fun little thing that talks about, your employees and when you should hire and all of that fun stuff. But at the top, starting your day with personal development. So that could be your book time. That could mean your learning something new time. Whatever that is, it's on a personal level. Then you're going into your daily checklist and your progress journal. For me, that's brain dumping and journaling where my head's at for the day, what I need to be doing, whatever is on my mind, just getting it out. And then 8 a.m. coaching. So going right into a type of learning. So your day is starting with getting yourself better, brain dumping everything that's on your mind, and then learning something new with the industry that you're in. And then you're going into prospecting. So prospecting is by far the most important thing that you have to do for your business. Whether it is follow-up prospecting or new business prospecting with people you've never followed up with before, you have to make sure that you have what I like to call the theme of the day. What are you going to give out today so that you're not just calling, texting, emailing about something that doesn't matter? What does your sphere want to know? If you were in their position, buying a house, selling a house, recruiting agents, whatever that is. What is it that you would want to know, and how would you create desire in your life? That's what your theme of the day is going to be. And maybe you can use that for the week, maybe you can't, depending on how big your database is. But the first 3 hours of your day after all of that development from 9 to 11 is new business prospecting. So you're just looking for new business, new opportunities, whether that's social media, whether that's setting up open houses, whether that's going out, working at a coffee shop and talking to people. You're going to have a flex block in the middle of the day. So we're talking lunch, catch up, whatever, but nothing protect that prospecting time, nothing within that prospecting time. At 1 PM, you should have your plan already set up for your long form video shoot, your short form video shoot. Maybe you're like, I'm not quite there yet. Then your plan should be to create the content that's going out for the next few days, right? Or what does it look like to shoot your videos? Or what are you trying to tell people? Who are you trying to show up as on social media? That is what that 1 PM is for. 2 to 4, again, on Mondays, it's all new business prospecting. You're not even following up on Mondays, you're just outreaching. And then 5 to 6, hopefully you have some appointments, a buyer's consult, a seller's consult. You should be making it a point to ask for the appointments between that 9 and 11 and that 2 to 4. If you're not, then you're likely not going to have anything between 5 and 6. After that, that's your flex block. So maybe you're super busy and you have to have those blocks for appointments, or you have to catch up on your content, or maybe it's just your personal stuff. All of that is acceptable and fine. It's just what is your plan and blocking it here. Tuesdays goes into the same exact thing. The only difference is how are you showing up differently on social media? So maybe it's a live, maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's your new business webinar, maybe it's your content prep and research day, whatever that looks like. That's the difference after those first few hours. And then your follow up. So it's still new business outreach, 9 to 11. And then 2 to 4, that's when it changes. 1 p.m. doing something different in social media, 2 to 4 actually doing the follow ups. So if you're like, I don't have anybody to follow up on, I'm still doing new business outreach, that's totally fine. Still continue to do that. And then your appointments and your flex. And this is what it should look like as a new agent. It doesn't change a ton after that, right? So even with outside sales agents, your new business outreaches from 9 to 11 on Mondays with your appointments, you should have a buyer's consults, seller's consults. Maybe it's of home buyer seminars, whatever that is, where you're out there actually on appointments talking to people about them. But as you can see, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday cadence of new business and then follow ups and then new business and then follow ups, that all changes every other day. And you can't forget your past clients, right? So one of those follow up days has to be past clients. On Saturday, I would say Saturday and Sunday are still really good for time blocking. Even if it's all personal stuff, you should know what you're doing is important. Otherwise, it shouldn't be on your calendar. You don't need to be doing everything all the time. With your personal goals reviewing on Saturdays, as well as your business goal reviewing, if that is, if you haven't done a business plan, now's the time to start doing that. If you're a team leader, it should look a little bit different because you're trying to grow your team, you're trying to scale. You're going to look at your business vitals on Saturday. The rest of the week, your prospecting is recruiting for new and follow up. So, same exact cadence, but have the appointments. If you don't have the appointments, you're not doing enough prospecting. And if you're like, I'm doing all the prospecting, we got to change something. So, make sure you have a good thought process around that, or reach out and we can talk about that. Business owner, same thing, but you have to put in the marketing workshops. You have to put in your projects. You have to put on all of your flex blocks for your daily lists and your tech workshops and your operations, all those things for your team. So, being a business owner, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, all of that stuff looks a little bit different. Prospecting, we have business stage, right? So day 1 through day 10, you should still be doing text, phone, email, social, direct mail, right? It changes a little bit, but every single day, that's what you're doing for your prospecting. So if you want to make sure that you're doing what you can, that's where you start. The next thing I'm going to tell you is if you don't know what you're tracking, you have to start tracking. So we have goal trackers, and I'll pull those up. Oops, we don't need to look at Sophia's. The orders is great. Uh, so everything that you do, you can art with ours, you can change your income goal, but without messing around too much, these are all the things that you should be doing every single day in some way. That's what should be on your time blocking, right? All the different ways that you generate your leads, your prospecting. Obviously, that's number one and two. Then you got to count your agreements, your open houses. There should be a plan around that. Your CMAs, that's part of your flex blocks. Going into your calls or, discussing deals with your clients or other agents. So that's what we track because we actually have those. And then social media. How do you show up on social media? Do you have a newsletter? Are your off markets in front of people? Right. So there's all these things that you can do. And then based on that, you can set up your own time block. So if you don't love the idea of just prospecting, prospecting, prospecting all day, then you have to have what the rest of your day is going to look like. And really, it's the same, right? You're role playing, you're prospecting, you're creating content, you're going to appointments. If you don't have appointments, then this is what you do during your appointments time. So there's a whole breakdown. This is 8 to 12, but it's not. It is the full day. Um, so making sure you're planning at least one thing a day that follows the thing that you're tracking, right? So making sure like this is all for January. So January 1, going through and time blocking every single thing. When am I going to do my calls? When am I going to do my prospecting? Am I going to set up my social events for the month? And if you only, even if you only have one social event, you should know what your plan is around it. You should know how you're going to get more business for it. So there's a lot of really quick, fun, easy-ish ways to time block. But ultimately, if you don't have a plan, then you're not going to get anywhere on it. So make sure you have a plan, make sure you know how to track. Comment below what you need out of everything that I showed you, and I'm happy to share anything with you. Thanks, guys.